Hello, I'm Jeff Patterson. We're going to look at an Chuan standing meditation series today. Chuan standing meditation is very powerful. It's a great practice to put into any martial arts system you might practice. It will help you develop more root and stability and power in your movements. Also, the standing meditation is very good for building up your internal chi, your internal strength. It helps strengthen the immune system. It's a very powerful exercise. If you could stand a half an hour every day, you would be, and did that for a year, you would feel a lot more powerful. You would be able to relax under stress and see a lot of benefits. And it's hard to sometimes, to teach when you're working with students. You tell them to do a standing meditation posture, and to do that for a half an hour a day, it's like you got to stand there with a whip to make it happen. But if you have the discipline and you can find your own whip, and you could stand and be consistent and do that a half an hour a day, at least 6 days a week, maybe 5 days a week, you'd see a lot of benefit from that. If that's a lot for you, just start out with 10 or 15 minutes, but make it a habit and do it every day. So with this series, we're going to look through a few different postures. It's 8 different postures in the series, and then we will go out and close out. I'm only going to spend about a minute in each posture to teach you the form or the flow. But when you're practicing this, try to do at least 2 or 3 minutes in each posture. All right, so we start with the feet about hip-width distance apart, knees slightly bent. Find your central equilibrium so you can shift front, back, left, right. Find that center. Roll the shoulders back and down. Relax the breath. Soft, light smile with the back of the throat. Tuck the chin. The eye gaze should be horizontal and slightly up 5 degrees, staring off into space. And then the first posture, we raise the hands. In this posture, you want to drop the chest and the shoulders, making sure you're sitting down. The knees are not locked out, they're slightly bent. Fingers are spread softly apart. Now, in all of these postures we do today, we're going to have the visualization of the opposing forces. And what I mean by that is you want to think about like you had a yoga ball between your hands, and you're squeezing that yoga ball. And at the same time, you have rubber bands tied between your fingers and you're stretching them apart. Now, don't do it with your skeleton and your muscles. There shouldn't be any movement. Just use your mind and focus on that squeeze. And at the same time, expand. So at the same time I have opposing forces going on here, I also have those same opposing forces going on here and here and here and here. And so I want to think about that expanding in all of those postures. So now we would hold this posture. I like to do each one for at least 3 minutes. If you do all 8 of these postures for 3 minutes, it's a good standing session. This is number 1. Number 2, we lower the hands, dropping the chest and the shoulders, sinking into the stance until the middle fingers are about on line with your eyeballs. So they're fairly high, fingers are softly spread, chest and shoulders are dropped. Remember to lightly bow forward at the waist. And again, you'd hang out here for about 3 minutes. If you look at it from the side, knees are bent, slightly bow forward, kind of like you're hanging from a string in the center of the top of your head, and open the hands. The third posture, arms stay in approximately the same location, but they turn down towards the floor. Drop the chest and the shoulders. Now again, just like in every posture, You're thinking about squeezing with your mind. You're pushing those hands together and feeling that energy expanding and contracting, but without physically moving the body. You're just using your mind. And as you get more in tune with this connection and learn how to feel energetically squeezing with the mind and expanding with the mind, you'll start to feel almost like you have two north ends of a magnet, and you'll be able to feel that energy between the palms. And that's what we're going for. We're trying to experience that sensation. Number 4, slowly lower the hands. Now they're about on line with the middle of the abdomen as far as elevation. Don't let the elbows sink to the sides here. Keep them open out to the sides. And again, I'm squeezing that yoga ball and I'm stretching those rubber bands. If you look at it from the side, the hands are away from the body. Sometimes I see them come down like this. Try to keep it a little bit more open in this series. And again, I'm squeezing and expanding. Number 5, palms face the floor and open up a little bit wider. Now in this posture, again, now that yoga ball is between my hand and the floor, and I'm pressing the hands down, trying to squish that ball, and now my rubber bands are tied to the floor, and at the same time, I'm stretching them out and expanding. The 6th posture, slowly raise the arms, pretty much the same position as the last one, up to about as high as your eyeballs from the fingertips. Drop the chest and the shoulders, and again, we're mentally pressing down and lifting up. I'm adding a little bit of movement when I say that so you can see what I'm talking about. But when you're standing, remember that's only your intent, your focus. There's no physical movement in the posture. When we're moving from one posture to the next, you want to be slow and have the least amount of movement possible. So I wouldn't go, for example, from here and then move around and then come back to this one. I want to very slowly come up, settle in the posture, and have the least amount of movement as I can. Number 7, the hands turn forward and drop down to the sides. Palms facing forward. Now in this posture, don't let the elbows come in close to the body. Keep them extended out to the sides. And just like with every other posture, we're thinking about that yoga ball again. So now I want you to press it forward, and it's almost like you had a ball between your hand and the wall, and you're pressing it just enough so it won't fall to the floor. And at the same time, you're pulling those rubber bands and stretching them back. After about 3 minutes in this posture, we go to the 8th posture, where you slowly let the hands fall. Make a soft fist with the hands and place them over the kidneys. In this posture, relax, let go across the back, sit down into the feet, maintain that central equilibrium. And again, we'll hang out here for a few minutes. Relax breath. And release the hands. And to close, we're just going to do a few opening and closing with the spine and the chest bow. Inhale as you open and expand back. Exhale forward. And that is that series. Now remember, this practice is very beneficial. It will help you. There's lots of different things that you can pull from this, but it takes time. It's not something you're going to see the first couple of times. It's going to be a little bit difficult, and it's always a little bit challenging. But the consistency, doing it every day, being on top of it, making it like you're brushing your teeth. You don't let a day slide by when you don't do it. I guarantee you, if you can stick with this practice for at least 12 months, you will want to keep doing it for a long time. You'll see a lot of benefits from the practice. It has a lot to offer. There's lots of these series, different series that you can play with the Chuan, so it'll keep it from getting too boring for you. You can change it up a little bit, but sometimes it's good to just pick one of these standing postures from this form, for example, maybe this one, and just do this for 15 or 20 minutes a day. So if you need to change in the beginning and go through a series like this, that's okay, but play around with it a little bit. Have fun with the practice. One of my old teachers used to say, pretend like you like it. So even though it's painful and you're going through, just try to, in your mind, pretend like you like it until you can really see what all the benefits of the practice are to make you want to keep going. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.